All right, so here we are. This is the payoff. This is what I wanted you all here for. Because this is the conclusion and this is where it all comes to a head. Okay. So, there were incidences that happened during those trips that I'll speak on two. One, I'll speak on three. One time I can remember we're driving, we were coming back. It was late at night, super late at night. I had to be at school the next day. I can remember calling my mom from a Mexical or Calimex, whatever their supermarkets are over there at like 2 in the morning, and she was pissed. Uh, but I can remember that, and I remember my friend's dad being real jumpy, just real jumpy, just like moving just like so fast, a mile a minute, that's a mile a minute. And I said like, "Are you all right?" And he turned back. This was one of the times that I was not sitting shotgun because we were not crossing the border, and he says to me, "Oh, I mixed coffee and Red Bull. That's why I'm like this." And me, being a 7 to 8 year old child, never drink coffee, never drank Red Bull, I knew that that was a lie. I knew that that was not, like, I don't know if it was the way he said it or if that just sounded like a thing that nobody would ever do ever. Like, still, I can't, I mean, you know how the internet is these days, but still, I just felt like something was off. Okay. Another time, uh, we are at our hotel room, and all of a sudden we get a knock on the door. We get the door knocks. We go answer the door. Nobody's there, but there's a DVD case on the ground right outside the door. And I remember opening it up and seeing that there was like a receipt. It must have been from like renting a movie from a motel. And I remember it saying Red Shoe Diaries 2. And I was like, well, that sounds like an adult film. Like, and we had already found this dad's gigantic, like a stash. I don't even know what to call it. Like it's like he was doomsday prepping or something for how much of that stuff he had, when we'd just be looking for like the BB gun or something. Like we found a huge box one time, huge moving box just filled with like Ron Jeremy. Like, I swear to God. So, anyways, that was another time that like I knew that that was meant to go to his room. They probably mixed it up and didn't realize who was in what room or whatever. But like right then, I was like, okay. Like, I just knew, I could feel it. I could feel that something wasn't right. So like we do a couple more Mexico trips, and then the Mexico trips stop and whatever, and like, some time goes by, blah blah blah, and but not super long later, we find out that one of the supplies that my friend's dad was picking up for his surf shop was an illegal substance that he was addicted to. And the reason that he wanted me sitting in the front seat of the car was because I looked more like him than his own children, because their mom was straight up from Mexico. So it made it look more like me and him were father and son, when that was definitely not the case. So he did that methodically to make it look like more innocent than it was, and it worked because we never got stopped by anyone for anything. I don't know if he had somebody paid off. I don't know if it was, it's a long time ago. It's kind of hard to remember, but I still can remember pretty well the details. Okay, so that ends up coming out, and let's just say that my mom was not not happy about that at all. Like, at all, when they found out like how things were going down when we were going to Mexico, how we were basically just left to our own devices for like multiple days with no like adult supervision at all. It would have been one thing if we're like 15, 16, 17 or something, but like we're literally children. Like we're children walking around in a different country by ourselves. Me, I'm making us stand out like the sorest thumb ever. You know what I mean? Like there's no way, like there's just no way I don't think that this could happen now in these days. But I could be wrong. Like I just it's like it's a miracle nothing happened to any of us like looking back on it, but things were different back then, you know. So that ended up coming out, and my friend's dad slowly lost everything. The surf shop became no more. Him and my friend's mom ended up splitting up. He ended up having the whole time when we were going down to Mexico, he was meeting up with a girlfriend that he had in Mexico down there. And when they he split from my friend's mom, he decided to run down to Mexico and go be with her. And then that didn't end up working out. And he ended up in a rehab in like San Diego. And then he almost gets into a fight with the guy that like tries to kill him. So he goes back to Mexico, and like it just like the guy was just not made out to be a good dad. I mean, you know, I'm not trying to bash the dude, but like it is like I'm calling it how I saw it. Like I was there. You know what I mean? So like I got used as a mule without like there's it's crazy how many episodes of like Locked Up Abroad or like something that I'll watch, and someone will have like something that gets put into like the lining of their jacket or something, and like they don't know it or whatever. Like that's how I felt. Like I always was like, how would they not know? Like really, how could you not know? Like how could you not like be able to tell? And then only to find out like that I've already been like inducted in that process as a small child, like that had nothing to I didn't get no anything from that. We didn't even know that it was happening until years later when everything it was just one of those things that everything uncrumbled at once, and it was just a gigantic mess. And like I still like I don't hold anything against like Mexico or like anything like that. Like if I hold anything against anyone, it's my friend's dad, and he understands the situation. He gave me permission to tell this story. I asked him. And like he knows how wild of a story it was too. Maybe I'll get him on here one day and he can corroborate more things, because I feel like people don't believe a lot of the stuff I have to say because it sounds so out there, but like I have the receipts. I have like the people to back it up. Like it's like I'm not going to come on here and lie. Like I'm not going to. I don't need to lie. I have too much good stuff. Like I'm not going to. So, but yeah, that was the story of how I got used as a mule unknowingly to bring things to and from the border across from the United States to Mexico, all within the span of being on the lower side of elementary school years. So I thought that was a good story. Hopefully you guys do too. And let me know what you think about it. All right. Peace.